So the night before my sister went to the hospital to give birth, she gave me a call asking for that kind of last minute advice. Her pregnancy had gone the same way that our pregnancy had gone, whereas everything was fine and everything was really great until pretty much the last couple weeks. And for us, it was literally the last day when the doctor picked up this red phone off the wall in the middle of our visit and asked the hospital if we could come in immediately to give birth. This kind of situation doesn't happen to everybody, where you expect to have a supernatural birth and then you end up with a very scheduled event and you're waiting for it to happen. Both her and our experience was we got scheduled for the next morning. So we had a last night together, which I think is so great. I mean, we might have missed out on a birth plan, but we got this whole last night to spend together. And that's part of what I talk about when anyone asks for advice about being pregnant. I say, go do stuff. Go on dates, go to the beach, go on trips. You can do that with kids. We do a lot of that stuff with kids, but it's just different. There's something different about being a couple and then being a parent. It's indescribable. Really, until you're a parent, you can't understand what the difference is. It's a feeling more than anything else that the world's just different. Anyway, so she called me, and so I went through, over like a 45-minute conversation, I went through all the different things that I would suggest that she do to get ready to go to the hospital the next day, and also what to expect from the hospital. And so I'm distilling that down into just some tips. So my big thing is the night before, like I said, go on a date. Real big bonus points if you can go someplace that you have to wait to eat, because going out to eat with kids and waiting like an hour, hour and a half, that is not that much fun. Also, turn on the lights, play TV real loud, do all that kind of stuff. I can still stay up late, but nighttime has become a darker, quieter time. When we watch TV at home, we usually watch TV around 29. When I'm by myself at night watching TV, I'm watching around 4, and I've grown to enjoy that. Of course, then there's the day of the delivery. The big point about that I always say is, I thought I was going to kill Augustine just by touching her until I saw her be put in this tray to be weighed and her like to bash around like she was losing her mind, like she was coming down off the worst high of her life. She was so angry, and I just looked at her, I was like, well, I am not going to hold this thing the wrong way and kill it. If I am careful, we are gonna get through this. And that was a huge moment for me. But the actual experience is different for everybody as far as what the birth is like. What's not different is what's after the recovery room. When you go back to your room and you're there for like 2 days, you have to be prepared for the small talk. There is so much time to fill. I mean, sure, it's great that the baby is there. You can look at it. Sometimes it moves, which is really exciting. Sometimes you actually have to do things with the baby, like feed it or change its diaper. But a lot of the time it's sleeping and you're just sitting there staring at the wall and looking at your phone. Just be prepared for all the small talk. Just because there's a lot of small talk doesn't mean you need to entertain people, which is something I didn't understand. My parents showed up, and that same day I was like, well, maybe we should go see a movie tonight, which really did not go over well in the room. It's not about entertaining, and I think that's something that I only kind of understand now, and I really didn't understand right then, is that a lot of the fun is just being around the baby. People come to see the baby just to make memories of the first couple times it gets its diaper changed, or the first time it eats, that sort of thing. Small talk might be painful, but don't worry about trying to entertain people. They're excited just to be there, which really leads to talking about the people. There are going to be people that are going to come visit. It's great if they want to come visit. I would just say you need to do a couple things to prepare for the friends and family. One is set ground rules. Whatever your ground rules are, just set them in advance. For me, my family, we don't talk about politics anymore. No politics the entire visit. Maybe it's like you don't want people to wear a certain smell. Maybe food, some type of food is just forbidden from the hospital room. Whatever it is, as a new parent, you're about to go through such a huge change, emotionally and physically. You don't need anything that already bothers you to show up on the day. So go ahead and lay ground rules out, set up expectations. On the other side of that is just accept people's advice. No one's actually going to check to see if you followed it. Everyone's just trying to help. Let them help. If they say something that you hate or you've heard 1,000 times, it doesn't matter. Just let them say it. Let it roll over you. There's so much time for small talk. Along that same lines, everyone comes to help. Let them help. Don't let them come up with ideas of how to help. You tell them. Tell them you need to bring this exact type of food, or you need to go to my house and clean it, or you need to go pick up this thing from Target that I forgot, or please make food that I'll be able to eat over the next coming weeks. And these are the exact foods that I like to eat. Just tell them what to do. Everyone wants to help. Of course, when you're in the hospital, there are the same suggestions that I always give, which is definitely bring a folder. You're gonna need a folder for all the stuff, and take everything with you that's not nailed down when you leave. Any extra blankets, hats, diapers, all that kind of stuff. Take it with you. Now, when you get home, and this is like kind of the advice that's like a little bit more esoteric, but right, just make notes about the things that are going on. Pictures are great, but describing what it's like to put a 6-day-old kid to sleep is different from what it's like to put a 2-year-old to sleep. And you're gonna lose all those moments if you don't write them down. Don't let those books that tell you to write 6 or 7 answers to these different questions every couple days overwhelm you, or feel like you've gotten behind, you need to catch up. Just write in the moment. That's gonna get you through so much. Also, when you get home, you're part of a secret parent club, and you're gonna find out all about that when you're a parent. You're gonna walk to the store and people are gonna nod to you and say hi that you don't even know. It's a secret club that's on top of this world. So it's been a couple days since my nephew was born. His name is Rice. My sister called to thank me for the advice, but what's funny is she actually thanked me for some advice I would never give anybody. She said, thanks, you made me feel really good. You were right. The second I saw Rice, I fell in love. I was real worried, but I fell in love. I would never give anybody advice about when they're gonna fall in love with being a parent or fall in love with their kid. Because for me, it took a couple days. I liked Augustine, it was great having a kid, but really falling in love was something that took time. I just don't think I was ready to be a dad at first. As I've said before, it's kind of like putting on like new clothes. You just have to fit into them. Some people fall in love the second they find out they're pregnant. Some people take a while. I think you just do the work that needs to get done. You stay present, and you just stay there. And one day you'll wake up and find that you've been a great parent all this time. Anyway, that's advice I gave my sister the day before she gave birth.